I am 24 and I have a friend who is 21, she is really nice and we've known each other for a year. She is my sister's acquaintance and we met at my sister's birthday party. I have a crush on her although she isn't exactly my type. Lately, I feel like I've been getting vibes that she likes me back. Last week I won a raffle and have 2 tickets to see a famous singer perform next month in a nearby city. She also happens to like the singer, so I asked her if she wanted to go with me as a date. I said I can book us a hotel room and we can spend the night together. She said she'd love to go, but only as friends. She says she's alright with us splitting a hotel room, as long as it has 2 beds. She told me she doesn't feel ready to date anyone at the moment and she doesn't do flings either, so unfortunately we can only be platonic friends. I said I'll think about it. I was quite hurt because honestly I don't have much experience with rejection and I was annoyed that she turned me down. Today, I asked my female coworker to go with me to the concert as a date. She immediately said yes and seemed quite excited about it, although she admitted that she never listened to any of their songs. Still, I'm taking her out for drinks on Friday. But just now, the friend who I asked originally asked if we were still on for the concert. I told her honestly that I already asked another woman and she seemed disappointed but dropped the subject. When I told my sister about what happened, she said I'm being really douchy. She says her friend is a huge fan of the singer and I should take her instead of my coworker who doesn't even like the band but only wants to go because she likes me. I said she can't understand because she's not a dude. Because let's me be honest, if I had the choice between going out with a girl who only wants to be my friend versus a girl who is super into me and wants to take things to the next level, then obviously I'm taking the second one. Am I the idiot for just being honest about what I want? You're the idiot. First off, saying it must be a date with a shared bed at the end of the night is pervy AF. I wouldn't be surprised if her side of the story is I like this guy, but didn't want there to be pressure of sleeping together at the end of the night, so I said let's go as friends. So instead he found some girl who would go off and sleep with him for a concert ticket. They are your tickets and you can do with them as you want, but being like, if it isn't a date we share a bed with, then no is a huge idiot move. Not the idiot. People calling you the idiot are insane. You asked her on a date. She wanted to go, but not on a date, you didn't want that. Done, end of story. You found someone who would go on a date with you. The first girl isn't entitled to go with you because it's her favorite band, and she's not entitled to your time as a friend if you're not interested in just being friends. Just because it's her favorite band seems to be the only reason anyone thinks you should take her and waste your time. You're not obligated to waste your time on her when she's made it clear to you that she's not interested in being more than friends. No idiots here. She's under no obligation to date you. You're under no obligation to treat her the way he'd treat her if you did go on a date. You offered something, she rejected it and made a counter offer. You didn't accept or reject and then found an alternative. If you had accepted to go as friends and then invited someone else as a date, you'd be an idiot, but you didn't. You and your sister were both kind of donkeys to each other in how she approached you about it and how you replied to that, but I see that as outside the scope of the core question here. My daughter is 16. Myself and her mom separated when she was 12 and we both live in the same town and maintain a healthy relationship and split custody 50-50. I taught my daughter how to drive and was with her when she got her license last month. Last week, my daughter came home with a ticket for texting and driving on the highway. This caused a huge concern for me. The ticket included a $200 fine and a 20-day suspension of her license. I was obviously very upset and we got into an argument about it. Her points were that everyone does it and that she doesn't do that often or when other cars are around. Not only was she defending herself, but she was essentially arguing that she does it safely. I told her that regardless of when the suspension kicks in, she is grounded from driving until she has shown that she can be responsible enough to not put her own life or the other lives on the road in danger. I took her car keys, a car that I had bought for her as a getting your license present. She went and called her mom before I did, and the next thing I know, I have her calling me and telling me that I had no right to punish her like that without talking to her first. I agreed that I should have talked to her first about it, but that I feel like the grounding is non-negotiable. Her mom actually took her side and said the same everyone does it crap and that she needs a car to get to work and hang out with friends. I told her that it is ridiculous that she is even supporting this. The conversation ended with her telling me that she wasn't going to enforce the rule and would allow her to drive one of her cars at her house. I waited a few days until it was her mom's turn of custody. I called her and she confirmed that she isn't backing off and that she is going to let her drive until the suspension kicks in. I told her that she is actively letting our child endanger her life as well as everyone else's. She told me I am making this a much bigger deal out than it needs to be, and she said that, if it was actually that serious, she would have gotten more than a 20-day suspension. In my state, the parent that signed the minor driving consent form when you get your license has the ability to have your license revoked, so I did just that. They warned me that this will count as a full revocation on her record and that she would be ineligible to get it again until she is 18. I went through with it and texted her mother to tell her that I revoked her license and sent her a picture of the paper the Department of Motor Vehicles sent me. She told me I am out of line and making decisions for our daughter without consulting her. I told her that she was neglecting her safety and I wasn't going to allow her to enable our daughter to endanger herself or someone else on the road. My daughter is livid at me and so is her mom, but I feel like I did what I had to do. Am I the idiot? Oh man, I don't know now. I was with you all the way up until the 2 years before she can get it again. 100% in your corner that it's extremely serious and terrifying that she doesn't realize that. If only there was a 3 to 6 month revocation option I'd be saying, hell yeah, but I wonder if there could have been more discussions, education, before the full hammer came down. That's a long time for someone her age, and she may grow a lot in a year. Still not willing to judge you an idiot, you're a scared dad, but a bit harsher road than I may have taken. Not the idiot. My girlfriend was almost killed by a teenager texting and driving. He slammed into the back of the car she was in doing 70 miles per hour, and they were stopped. She's incredibly lucky to be alive and spent considerable time in the hospital recovering from her injuries. The kid walked away with minor injuries and a totaled vehicle. I have zero sympathy for people who do such stupidly dangerous stuff. Texting and driving ranks right up there with impaired driving. And your ex is evil for endorsing your daughter doing such things. Not the idiot. I am permanently injured from being hit by a driver texting and driving when they felt it was safe. She also tried to excuse it as everyone does it, and now my life is changed forever because someone else made such an irresponsible decision. Texting and driving kills people. If your daughter doesn't value her own life enough to stop, she needs to be reminded there are other drivers and passengers she's putting at risk. If she's not mature enough to put down the phone, she's not mature enough to drive. I, 29, have a condition that makes me more or less infertile, or so I was told. Roughly 2 months ago I had a one-night stand with a guy. I don't use birth control due to my condition, but I did insist on a rubber. Lo and behold, I'm pregnant, my gynecologist confirmed it. Now, I'm in a good position financially. I have a stable job and enough savings to live a very comfortable life. I'm close to my parents and sister. So, I have decided that I will keep the baby. I have always wanted to be a mum, and this might be my only chance. I contacted the father and told him. I said I'd be happy to co-parent should he be interested, but I understand if he isn't. I would be filing for child support regardless though. The guy absolutely lost it and said I need to abort the baby and that I lied to him. Apparently, he asked me what my opinion on abortion is to prevent the situation. I remember him asking me, but he never specified his question and I thought it was more general. I told him I'm pro-choice, which is true. He must have interpreted this as me saying I'd abort any possible pregnancies. Ever since he has been harassing me to abort. He must have given my number to his parents because today I got a call from his mother imploring me to have an abortion. I have made up my mind and I won't have an abortion. My family is extremely supportive of my decision, but I'm not sure if I'm in the right anymore. Edit, since it keeps coming up. I did not tell him that I'm infertile and it was me who insisted on the rubber. He was quite happy to hit it raw as he said. I'm actually kind of shocked at this thread. You're not the idiot at all. Every consenting adult knows that when you make love, the woman may get pregnant. You're stepping up to the plate and he is choosing not to. The least he could do is provide financial compensation. You didn't make that child alone. It doesn't matter if he didn't want children or not. If he didn't want children, he should have gotten a vasectomy. Please don't listen to these responses and make sure you put him in child support. stick to your guns, it is his child too. Not the idiot. OP made clear in a comment that she didn't tell the guy about her infertility. He used a rubber, only, which is never 100% fail-proof. He made love and has to deal with the consequences, which is paying to support a child. The reason that women have the right to choose and men don't have a say is because pregnancy and labor is, to this day, risky for women's health, and no one but the woman should have a say on whether she takes on that risk. He played roulette and lost. Deal with it like an adult. Not the idiot. You insisted on the rubber, he didn't want to wear one in the first place and didn't take the time to properly ask what you would do in the event of a pregnancy. There are risks and consequences to all making love, particularly one-night stands or other situations where you don't already trust your partner enough to have that knowledge already, and he chose to make love anyway knowing that this could be a potential result. He also really shouldn't be harassing you or getting his parents to do so. That's incredibly odd. My wife has 2 sisters and is close to both. Their mom died when they were young, so they bonded over the loss and became very close. We have 2 kids. Chris, 16, and Kaylee, 13. My wife's old sister also has 2 kids. Owen, 17, and Emma, 16. They live about 5 minutes from us and our kids attend the same school. They have always hung out as a group of 3. Like Chris and their Emma are a week apart in age, and Owen are only a little over a year older, so they grew up together and used to call themselves triplets. They are still quite close. My wife's younger sister has a daughter, Gia, who is 3 months older than mine. The younger sister always made comments when our girls were babies about how she can't wait until they are the ages of the big kids, meaning Chris, Owen, and Emma, because they'll be just as close. The problem is that Kaylee doesn't like hanging out with Gia, and it's becoming more obvious as they get older that they are 2 different people. Kaylee likes soccer and video games. Gia isn't allowed to play video games and isn't interested in sports. Kaylee is a social butterfly and Gia is a homebody. All of this was manageable, but Gia also has some more immature interests. She still enjoys playing with dolls and engages in pretend play. For example, when Kaylee goes over their house to sleep over, she says Gia likes playing school or mommies. Playing school means they set up all of the stuffed animals and pretend to teach them. Mommies is when they play with the baby dolls and pretend to be mommies. I have nothing against pretend play and think it's nice that Gia doesn't feel pressured to grow up too fast, but it's clear that Kaylee and her are on different wavelengths. Now that things are opening back up, Gia's mom said she can't wait to have Kaylee over. Kaylee said she doesn't want to sleep over Gia's. She said she'll still interact with Gia at family events, but doesn't want to sleep over there anymore or go over to play. This upset my wife a lot. She said Kaylee doesn't get a say. Later that night I told my wife I sided with Kaylee. I don't think she should be forced to hang out with Gia. My wife flipped and said that I am an only child, so I will never understand her family values and how this isn't up for discussion. I told her that wasn't fair. Kaylee should get a say, and she said that you don't get a say when it comes to family. We argued for a while before I told her that we would be having this discussion later, and she didn't talk to me for the rest of the night. Was I the idiot? I haven't brought it up again, but plan to unless I am totally in the wrong. Not the idiot, and agreed with the people who said good for you for sticking up for Kaylee's needs and not trying to artificially force a bond. One suggestion I haven't seen is rather than sending her over to Gia's house, have you tried inviting Gia over to your house? Have Kaylee set up some games or activities she would enjoy doing with Gia in a more comfortable environment. That way Gia would see things Kaylee is more interested in, and maybe the problem solves itself. Not the idiot. As long as Kaylee is being kind to Gia and spending time with her at family events, I don't know why she should be forced to go beyond that. You can't force friendship, and trying to will only breed resentment. Also, you never know, maybe over time, they will naturally develop a close relationship if they're left to figure it out themselves and on their terms. I will say though, I may feel this way because I don't share your wife's values around family. I think you do choose your family, and someone being a blood relative doesn't automatically mean they should be part of your life. Not the idiot. Kaylee should not be forced to play or sleep over at her cousin's. She's too old for that now. You already know that this is going to lead to an uncomfortable conversation with your sister-in-law. I think the best thing to do is to not avoid the conversation, you have to be honest with her. If your wife refuses to talk to her sister about it, then you and Kaylee should. A compromise of some kind could be reached. This could also be the nudge Gia needs to grow up a bit. My friend Penny and I decided to do a joint gift for my best friend Ali. We are all in our teens, think 14 or 15. Anyway, over the past few months, I've been working on Ali's gift. I'd regularly call Penny up to see if she could help out with things like packaging or picking small things out for Ali. She'd always say she was busy and hang up. I managed to finish Ali's gift on time, and when it came to her birthday, we gave the gift in school, at lunch. I handed it to her and gave her the card. Originally on the card it said from me, since I had done everything. Little did I know Penny had then took it and written her name on it and rubbed mine out. When Ali read it, she gave Penny a hug, then showed the presents and said to everyone, "Look what Penny did." Everyone started to compliment her, saying how the present was so done well and how did she find the time for it. Penny smiled smugly and then just went on about how she had to put aside time for the present, but it was so worth it seeing how happy Ali was. I lost it. I'm a very emotional person and this just pushed me over the edge. I started screaming at how I'd spent ages trying to ask Penny to help, yet she never did, how I'd spent months on it and she hadn't checked up once. Everyone went quiet and Penny was fuming. I started crying and left. Ali followed me and hugged me. She said she knew it was me who did that, but let Penny have her moment. I was pissed, very pissed. Penny actually admitted that she didn't do it all and that I did most of it after all her friends asked her about it. They all texted me saying they were sorry, but that I was an idiot for causing such a scene and ruining Ali's birthday. I know Ali doesn't mind, Penny somehow is ignoring me, but am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Penny sure is an idiot, and I'd have been really upset too, especially if someone had done something as malicious as rubbing my name off of a gift I spent months preparing. Don't waste any more time with this girl. Sounds like you spoke with Ali when it happened, but did she mention that you upset her or ruined her day like your other friends are saying? This might just be them stirring the pot. Heck, Ali's okay, but I wouldn't worry about your other friends. I'm sure something else will happen and this will be old news. Not the idiot. Ali is an idiot for saying that, and everyone calling you is an idiot is an idiot. Penny will be doing this crap to every person in her life she is able to do it to, for as long as anyone puts up with it. If people weren't so averse to making a stink, users and slackers like her would do their jobs, their group school projects, pay their share at restaurants, and be responsible or end up friendless and with nothing because people stopped screwing up their slack and giving them their moments. Which is as it should be. Not the idiot. I would also like to point out, as someone who went to school for youth work, that there is 100% something more going on here that OP may not even be aware of. Well, Penny definitely is the idiot. Youth typically lash out like that because there is something more going on in their lives or home that they are not properly equipped to handle. Ali is also not the idiot. She should have called out Penny, but she is a kid. She may be afraid of conflict and trying to keep everyone happy. Regardless, she checked up on OP and made sure they were okay. She seems to be attempting conflict resolution, which should be encouraged.